New police force in Ishpeming.
Keweenaw Land Grant. Hi, I'm Samantha Carter.
And I'm Julie Goldberg. Welcome to Public Eye News. The Ishpeming Township Board has agreed to a contract with Marquette County Sheriff's Department for service. As of October 3rd, the township found themselves without police coverage. Former officer Robert O'Connor resigned due to what he said were conflicts with the township supervisor and a lack of trust. Ishpeming Township Supervisor James Nakervis said that residents came back and said they needed extra protection in the township. A millage was passed and they are going to hire a police officer, whether it's from the Sheriff's Department or their own police officer. An Ewan man was arrested Tuesday night by the Ontonagon County Sheriff's Office for malicious destruction of property. Witnesses observed him damaging two vehicles that were parked outside of Tilly's Sports Bar and Grill and Bruce Crossing. The man is lodged in Ontonagon County Jail awaiting bond.
After participating in a competitive process in 2015, the Department of Natural Resources will receive the Keweenaw Land Trust. The $1 million grant will make the nearly 2,000 square acres of coastal wetlands and shoreline of Pointa Bay Peninsula public land for the community to enjoy. Many local businesses and community members helped fund the project by donating $1.1 million to match the grant. The Keweenaw Land Trust is currently working on development management plans for the newly public land. A gas main broke on the 900 block of Main Street in Niagara, Wisconsin yesterday afternoon. Police notified several residents at approximately 2 p.m. and asked that they evacuate their homes. Authorities have not released additional details about the break, but they did allow residents to return to their homes an hour after the evacuation.
Detroit officials say an estimated $500,000 in fines have been levied on contractors working on the new Red Wings Arena because the companies haven't hired enough Detroit residents. Little Caesars Arena's developer, Olympia Development of Michigan, is required to ensure at least 51% of the workers live in Detroit. Douglas Diggs of Heritage Realty Services, LLC, says Detroit and developers are working together on the issue. The 51% goal was part of an agreement to allow $250 million in taxpayer-backed bonds to help fund construction of the arena. A Flint resident is asking for a grand jury investigation of Michigan Governor Rick Snyder's decision to use at least $2 million in state funds for his legal representation related to criminal phobes of the city's water crisis. The complaint was filed Tuesday and alleges that the governor broke the law by violating conflict of interest prohibitions and individually spending taxpayer money for personal benefit without the authority to do so. The complaint also requests that the Ingham County Circuit Court, based in Michigan's capital city, convene a one-judge grand jury to investigate. Snyder's spokeswoman says the spending is legally sound because the fees are related to actions taken in his official capacity as governor. And stay tuned because after the break, we'll have your national and international news.
Coming up on Austin City Limits.
Coming October 15th at 11 on Public TV 13.
Welcome back. Political tension is rising in Wisconsin as a federal judge is set to evaluate a controversial voter ID situation. The State Department of Transportation allows Wisconsin residents who apply for ID cards without supporting documents to receive receipts for voting. However, reports arose last month that indicate works at the DOT field stations gave residents incorrect information about how to obtain the receipts. In light of this report, liberal group One Wisconsin Institute has asked U.S. District Judge James Peterson to block the entire voter ID law. Peterson is expected to hear the request later today. Donald Trump has declared his independence from Republicans who abandoned him after a tape was released where the GOP nominee made lewd comments to describe how he makes advances on women. And the Clinton campaign says Trump's allies may be working with Russians to hack Democratic emails. Craig Boswell has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Donald Trump is campaigning in Florida. The battleground state is a must-win if he hopes to become president.
If I don't win, it will be the single greatest waste of time, energy, and money.
But with less than 4 weeks to go, Trump is attacking Republicans who withdrew support from his campaign after video surfaced showing the nominee using crude language towards women.
I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait.
Trump told Bill O'Reilly he's done with House Speaker Paul Ryan and other Republicans who have abandoned him.
I wouldn't want to be in a foxhole with a lot of these people, that I can tell you.
But McCain's a brave man.
Including Ryan.
He's a brave man, McCain.
By the way, including Ryan, especially
I got
Ryan.
that.
There are 331 governors and congressional Republicans. Of that group, 87, or more than a quarter, are not endorsing Trump. The Clinton campaign has its own problems as the media is sifting through hacked emails from campaign chairman John Podesta. U.S. intelligence officials say the hacks came from Russia.
Russian interference in this election and their apparent attempt to influence it on behalf of Mr. Trump is, I think, should be of utmost concern to all Americans.
Podesta pointed out that Trump confidant Roger Stone tweeted in August, "Trust me, it will soon be the Podesta's time in the barrel." That tweet was before the hack became public. The Trump campaign denies it's working with the Russians. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
An airstrike hit the biggest market on the rebel-held side of Syria's Aleppo on Wednesday, killing at least 15 people and leveling buildings as rescuers were still sifting through the rubble from the air raids that killed dozens day before. Activists say the early afternoon strike destroyed several shops in the besieged eastern part of the city. The latest strikes have shattered a relative three-day lull in the area, while hospitals, underground shelters, and buildings had been targeted for weeks. On Tuesday, Russian or Syrian aircraft bombed several neighborhoods and killing at least 41 people, including 5 children, according to the Syrian Civil Defense. The UN Security Council is deadlocked over how to respond to the Aleppo crisis. And U.S. troops are back in Iraq as the country's army prepares for an assault on Iraq's second largest city of Mosul. CBS's Holly Williams got access to an airbase where American advisors are helping Iraqi forces prepare for the battle with ISIS.
40 miles outside Mosul, Gayara Air Base was ISIS territory just over 3 months ago. Now recaptured, it's operated by the 101st Airborne Division from Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Anything else going on?
Nearby Camp Swift will be the headquarters for the Mosul battle, where officers from the U.S. coalition and Iraq are working together.
Majority of my time is
Colonel Brett Sylvia did 2 tours of Iraq after the U.S. invasion of 2003, but insisted that this time around, American troops are not here for combat.
And yet we've seen Americans lose their lives here over the last few months.
Well, this is a combat environment. It's not to say that it's not dangerous here.
Colonel Sylvia admitted that America's limited role here is sometimes frustrating.
Certainly things are much easier when you're forward and you've got the rifle in your hand and you are maneuvering. You have great control over everything that you're doing.
So it's harder to help the Iraqis than it is just to do it yourself.
Isn't that always the case?
Those U.S. officers told us there are 3,000 to 5,000 ISIS fighters still inside Mosul, along with around 1 million civilians who are effectively human shields. And the extremists are laying explosives to protect themselves. Holly Williams, CBS News, Erbil, Iraq.
Despite the declining value of energy stocks and oil prices, the majority of U.S. stocks are holding steady. While benchmark U.S. crude oil fell 1.1% and Valero Energy fell 1.8%, the Dow Jones Industrial Average went up 2 points to 18,130 as of 11:27 a.m. this morning. Additionally, the International Standard of Oil fell by 49 cents to $51.92 a barrel in London, and Chevron dropped 1.3%. And after the break, we'll be back with your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
On Masterpiece.
Lunch from the woods.
This, it, that.
This is no place to bring up a family. Gerald is now a wild animal. Margot seems to be some sort of paid jester. Leslie is in trouble with the law, and Larry failed right.
You know what our problem is?
Do you think we're the problem? No.
The Durrells in Corfu on Masterpiece.
Watch Sunday after Globe Trekker on Public TV 13.
Hi, and welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Ann Ludwig. As you can see behind me, it's raining and it's pretty chilly outside, so if I were you, I would not go outside. Our current conditions, it is raining with a temperature of 44. Winds are north-northwest at 18 miles per hour, and our pressure is 29.92 and rising. Tonight we're looking at some cloudy skies, a low of 37, and winds north at 14 miles per hour. And tomorrow it's mostly sunny, a high of 53, and winds are going to be west at 8 miles per hour. Let's take a look at across the UP. Here in Sault Ste. Marie, our only warm city across the UP, 65 and cloudy, 49 in Manistee and some rain, 48 in Escanaba and rainy, 49 in Menominee and some rain. And here in Iron Mountain, it is 44 and raining, 41 in Ironwood and cloudy, 44 in Houghton and cloudy, and back in Marquette, it is 44 and raining. Let's take a look at your week ahead. On Friday, a high of 60, low of 51 and partly cloudy. Saturday, a high of 63, low of 54 and some rain in the evening. And on Sunday, a high of 63, low of 49 and mostly sunny. So our weather isn't looking too good for tonight, but I hear the NHL has an exciting news for tonight.
Yes, I do. Thank you. The NHL season officially starts tonight with 4 games. Starting the games tonight will be the Battle of Ontario between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators. That game is at 7 p.m. At 8 p.m., the St. Louis Blues face off against the Chicago Blackhawks and last year's MVP, Patrick Kane. Next, the Calgary Flames hit the ice against Edmonton Oilers in the Oilers' new state-of-the-art arena at 10 p.m. And finally, Los Angeles Kings will face the San Jose Sharks to renew the territorial rivalry at 10:30 p.m. The division series in the Major League Baseball playoffs are almost done, but another team clinched a spot in the LCS. The Chicago Cubs are on their way to the NLCS. The Cubs beat the San Francisco Giants 6-5 yesterday to win the series. Chicago was down 5-2 in the top of the ninth when they scored 4 runs to take the lead and eventually the series. The Cubs will face the winner of the Los Angeles Dodgers-Washington Nationals series. Those two teams will play a Game 5 tomorrow in Washington, D.C. after the Dodgers beat the Nationals 6-5 yesterday to tie the series at 2. The game was tied at 5 in the bottom of the 8th when Chase Utley singled to score Andrew Toles to give the Dodgers the lead and the win. The pitch-in matchup for Game 5 is Dodgers lefty Rich Hill against Nationals righty Max Scherzer. The game is at 8 p.m. tomorrow on FS1. And the Detroit Lions made a roster change yesterday. In need of a veteran running back, the Lions signed running back Justin Forsett for his career. Forsett, who turns 31 on Friday, has rushed for 3,697 yards and 18 touchdowns for 4 teams. He was released from the Baltimore Ravens earlier this month after he lost his starting job. The Lions had a need in the running back position after losing starter Amir Abdullah to injury reserve last month, and rookie Dwayne Washington is dealing with an ankle injury. Theo Riddick and Zach Zenner are the other running backs on the Lions roster. So Sam, I hear you have a story about someone raffling off an awesome sports car.
I do, let me tell you about it. Tommy Wilson of Williamsburg, Kentucky is raffling off his luxury car to raise money for his daughter and newborn grandson. His daughter had gestational diabetes and his grandson would need heart surgery to fix his hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Wilson is selling 2,000 tickets for $3 a piece, and the raffle winner will walk away with his 1978 MGB. Well, I think that's an awful generous thing to do. Yeah, and a great deal. And that's all the time we have for you today. Tune in again tomorrow for more Public Eye News.
Preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.